guys attacked Seton Hall early in the game, causing an early foul trouble and stuff. I kind of want you to go into what was the game plan going into the game?
Well, we had planned on trying to use our big guys as much as possible. We felt like we had a little bit of an advantage in the lane, and there's been, we've had a lot of great success, the last month or so. Our big guys have really done a great job at both ends of the floor, really. We're missing a couple shooters. So we were hoping that that we could get to the free throw line a lot and control the tempo of the game that way.
What does it say about this group and everything they've kind of overcome this season to, have such a dominant performance and, high scoring game of the year, shorthanded with 7 players available?
Yeah, there's so much going on, and we really don't have any control over any of it. We do everything we can to try to put ourselves in the best situation that we can, and then let the game take us where it takes us. And injuries are part of the game, and some years it's worse than others. And it's one thing to have them; it's another thing to let it become all-consuming, and that's all you can concern yourself with is the injuries, and you complain about the injuries, and you whine about them, and woe is me, why is us, why are we going through this again? And we never allow ourselves to do that. We just show up with the guys that we have, and if we can put 5 guys on the floor, then we feel like we have a chance to win every game. And tonight was just one of those where everything fell right. For as bad as we were Sunday, in our flow of the game and our attention to detail and just our whole look, we were 180 today. We were just really on top of our game today.
And Coach, we saw Yona out there practicing with warm-ups. How do you update on her? When she will likely be returning, and Caroline, and also Maisie not being here as well?
Yana's in that concussion stuff, and that's you go day by day until whenever that is that she's good to go. Caroline's pretty much in the same situation, a little further ahead. Hers a little more complicated than Yana, though. And AZ was back there getting some tests done. We'll know a lot more when we get back, and we'll have to go from there, whatever that is.
Any questions for the players?
Yeah, do the players so they can go back and get it.
This question's for Dorka. What's the difference between last year and this year? Because this year you're playing a lot more confident. You let it drip, drain all over the court. You're more aggressive down low, and you're starting to go in and out of games. So what is the difference between last year and this year?
Obviously after transferring, you need some time to kind of adjust to a new team, new system, and kind of get your confidence, your reps in. And I feel like, last year was a great, learning year for me. I think, just coming in, helping out, the big guys, just help wherever I can. Obviously, coming from the bench a lot of times, that just was a little different than like this year, starting and all of that. So I think just, obviously that year was just kind of adjusting for me. And this year, obviously, I had a broken wrist, so that was kind of taking out me a little bit of like the repetition part. But I think my whole mindset was just different, just being more aggressive, just kind of getting back to myself that I know I can play like. And I think this team is really helping me, bringing that out. They're looking for me. They're always just trying to find me and get me to those spots where I can shoot and make layups. So obviously it's not just me, but I just feel like more confident and a little bit more free, and I know the system more this year.
Amari, you were able to, hit 2 threes, today. Dorka had 4. Just how special is that to have a, group of bigs like you guys who can knock down those shots, and just how fun is it to play when you guys are unlocking those down?
It definitely helps a lot having like the in and out game. It opens up the inside a lot. I was a little hesitant at first, but Leah told me they're backing off, so shoot, so I did.
Dorka, all seven of you guys scored today. What's like seeing everybody just get involved with the plays and just having a night?
I mean, it's great. I think just we pretty much needed this game. I think just as Coach said, last game was kind of like we were kind of out of it and we just couldn't find the flow. And I think just for this game, it was our plan that whoever gets on the court, we're gonna have great flow. Everybody's gonna contribute, and it was great to see that everybody was just so confident. Like and Amari just coming out, shooting threes. But it's great. I think that's how we always have to play. Obviously, it can't be this great every single game, but it just shows that we have so many weapons on the bench, even if we just have 7 players. But hopefully, more people are coming back, and we can just keep building on this.
Dorka, Leah had a big first half that set the tone for you guys. Just how big was that, and how huge has her presence been as that kind of setting force for you guys this season?
Yeah, I mean, she's been amazing all season long, and we just really saw that who she really is in the first half. Just getting in, passing lanes, getting steals, going full court. I mean, knocking down shots. She's just so dominant, and I think that's what we're gonna need from her going on. And she's been amazing this year. I mean, just from last season and this season, it's a huge improvement, and I think she's just playing her best game right now, and she's so confident, and we're definitely gonna need her, and we're gonna feed her the ball.
Amari, we asked Dorka and Aaliyah this Sunday about having Tina in practice. What did you learn from her?
It was definitely fun playing with her. It was hard to play against her for sure, but big thing was she told me just to stay aggressive and to take my time. Always, find your tempo and don't rush yourself, and just make sure that you're playing well with the guys that are out on the court with you.
Anything else for the players? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just one for Amari. Can you kind of walk us through what that play you had, the assist kind of from the ground to the net? Can you kind of walk us through what you were doing on that?
I don't know. I kind of just fell, and when I fell, I kind of turned towards the baseline. I saw her cut, so I just got it to her. I mean, we have 29 assists on 39 points, so everyone had the goggles on tonight.
Anything else for the players? All right, you guys can go ahead. And then we'll turn back to questions for Coach.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned injuries and stuff you guys have suffered this year. I wanted to ask you, coming out of halftime, Aaliyah Edwards, she had a wristband and stuff. I wanted to know if she's banged up or did she suffer an injury in the first half?
No, at this time of the year, there's serious injuries that you can't play, and we've got a couple of those. And then there's something hurts every day, and you just got to figure out how to play with it. Every basketball player, every athlete knows that you don't go through a season. Well, the only time it doesn't hurt is before the first day of practice, and then 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after the season's over. Everything in between hurts. So Aaliyah's in good shape. She's good to go. But everybody's dealing with something. So everybody's got a little bit of something.
Coach, it doesn't get said much. We always talk about the bigs. Talk about Mika New, how she stepped in, running the offense. I don't think a lot of times people talk about her playing on the offensive side and on the defensive side of the ball.
Nika, I think, is a perfect example of a kid who can dominate a game without scoring. I think so many kids put so much emphasis on how many points they score and the big highlight plays that they want to make. And Nika's a throwback to the days when you know, she understands I get my enjoyment out of getting other people, you know, easy baskets, and that's from the very first time we talked in recruiting, you know, where she said, you know, when you get an assist, 2 people come out of there happy, you know, the person who passed in, the guy who scored, and she lives by that, and I thought she controlled the game tonight beautifully. And she's growing and growing every day and maturing every day. When you're as emotional as she is and play with that kind of passion, you know, sometimes you get a little bit ahead of yourself, but she was great tonight, really great. You know, two threes that she took. I hope nobody on TV got those. They were really ugly. That's why she's such a good passer.
Geno, you mentioned that, you know, it was a complete 180 from last game. Just, you know, what did you talk about with the team going into this, or kind of how did you see that flip switch or that motivation in them to, you know, really come out and have a dominant performance after that?
You know, games like Sunday happen. You don't know why. You don't try to explain it. You just move on from it. You know, we came out and we didn't have it, and we didn't have it at shoot around that morning. We didn't have it at practice the day before. So it's not anything that caught anybody by surprise, and it was a good lesson. But there was no, you know, finger pointing and trying to analyze the whole thing to death. You know, it was just, you know, it was lousy. You know it was lousy. I know it was lousy, and we can't have that happen. And that was it. And, you know, everything that we've done since Sunday has been really good. And at least now we get a couple days before we play again on Saturday, and so hopefully we can carry this momentum, you know, over the next couple of weeks. We've got a tough couple of weeks coming up. You know, as we go Saturday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday or Sunday, something like that. I don't know what the heck. I lose track of myself, but.
How have you been managing things with all the injuries, and then how sustainable do you think this is, you know, being this dominant when you only have a bench of 7 players?
It gets depressing when you're sitting there thinking about what could have been, you know, the vision that we have for ourselves in June and what this team looked like in June. You would have seen them back at school. You would be amazed at how good we are. And then to all of a sudden have it just kind of disappear, you know, little by little, one at a time almost. It gets depressing if you dwell on it. And you have to work really, really hard to not think of it as defeating. I don't have any choices. I don't have any options. But you do. You have 5 players that are going to play. You got 2 kids on the bench that are available for you to sub in. And now you got to figure out how you can make the most out of that. And you can wish anything else. You could hope you had this, wish you had that. But the reality of it is, this is what we got. Can we play like this every night, given we only have 7 players? You know, Sunday was a perfect example. No, we can't. We can't. But if every day we come out and if we play great, we do this, and if we play lousy, we can still find a way to win, you know, that can carry you a long way. I don't know that going into the NCAA tournament like this is going to be we're going to be anybody's favorite to win the national championship. But it's a lot of time between now and then, and we'll see what happens.
Did you like what you saw from Amari tonight?
Yeah. Amari's she's a frustrating player to watch at times because she can look really, really good and make it look so easy and effortless. And the shot leaves her hand and you would think it's never not going in. But she has to miss that layup first before she makes the putback. Or she has to throw a ball away before she throws a great pass. So hopefully, little by little, we get the best parts of Amari. But she's got to get more physical and she's got to get more aggressive in what she does. And that's what's keeping her from playing more minutes. And if she were able to do that, a little more of what she did today, a little less of some of the other stuff, she would play more minutes and she would be able to help us. So it's balls in her court, so to say.
And I said a few weeks ago, you guys are doing practice differently now than you have in years past because of just the carousel of injuries. How are you guys going to do rest differently this year than you have in other years?
Rest?
Yeah.
Practices aren't as long. We don't do some of the things we used to do. We spend more time on recovery days. We give certain kids more time off during practice, less reps than other kids. And basically we ask them to be adults about it and take care of themselves. You can't always follow them home and hope they're getting enough sleep, hope they're hydrating enough, just a lot. And so you hope that, I keep telling them all the time, listen, we have a lot of players in the WNBA. There's a reason for that. Our guys learn to act like pros when they're at UConn. They take care of themselves, they take care of business. And you don't learn that once you become a pro. It's too late then, you'll get cut. So not only is it important for you now, but it's important for you in your future. And the ones that listen, they end up, getting better and better. But the young guys, it takes a little bit longer with them.
Coach, you've been doing this for a long time. Now, recruiting has changed over the years. How has it changed the way you recruit now that every kid is looking about NIL deals and so forth and so on? Music's changed, everything else. So how your approach to the game has changed over the last 2 years?
I would say the biggest thing is, unlike what may be happening on the men's side, I don't know that it's as widespread on the women's side yet. I'm sure it's coming. I think people read that this guy got this and this guy got that and this guy's getting $1 million and this guy. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Nobody really knows. I just know that there's a lot of kids out there that want to go to college and play basketball and don't necessarily think that that's the number one priority for them going to college. They want to come, they want to play for us in our program, and they know that if they're really good in our program, they're going to do okay. And if somebody has to promise you money and give it to you up front, then you know what? I can see when a kid gets there and they came for the right reason, and then you need to help them a little bit. But if a kid is already in the first sentence of recruiting talking about NIL and what's the plan, Connecticut's probably not the right place for you. And, you know, we got a top 2 or 3 recruiting class this year coming up, and the word NIL never came up. We've got commitments from 2 of the top 5 players in the country for next year. NIL never came up. So there's enough kids out there, fewer than before, but there's enough. And the smart ones, they know. This is UConn. We're on national television more than anybody. We have more media than anybody. You have more opportunities than any other. You know, we have Paige Becker is probably the most valuable asset in all of college sports. All you have to do is come here and be good. Now, if you ain't any good and you want to get paid, you know, you need to learn about life a little bit. You know, if you're really good, you're gonna get paid. People want to be associated with you. If you're not any good and you want to get paid, you're a bum, basically.
Geno, I know you put out a statement yesterday about Maya, but were you surprised that she made it official, or did you kind of think when she stepped away 3 years ago that that would be it? And have you had time to reach out to her yet?
Maya's like Haley's Comet or something, you know, like one of those things that all of a sudden she's in your life and you're grateful because you're texting back and forth and she's sending you pictures of her child, and it's here's how I'm doing, and it's great. And then just like the other thing, disappeared, gone. She in a witness protection program or something. Nobody can find it. So I asked her one time a while back, what's your plan? For a lot of reasons, because there's a lot of things that are in play. If you want to keep playing or if you don't want to keep playing. And she had probably made this decision a while back and was just comfortable now coming out with it. And like I said in my statement, I'm not surprised that, you know, I think when Maya never saw basketball as my life. She never treated the game as I get up every morning, I eat, breathe, sleep, drink, you know, the game of basketball. She was never that, you know. Maya, basketball was a job. You know, coming out of high school, I'm going to work. You know, where can I go to build the biggest platform for myself? I'm going to go to UConn. And when I get there, what am I going to do? I'm going to become maybe one of the top 5 players of all time in college. And then go over to the WNBA and do the same thing there. And then go on the Olympic team and do the same thing there. But it was always like a job. And when my job is over and I've done what I want to do, I'm out. Some people can't walk away. She never had that problem. When we took 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off, or you know, we had a month off, guarantee you, I ain't touching the basketball for a month. She's like the old NBA players back in the day. Season ends in May. When are you going to get in shape? Training camp. You touching the basketball? Nope. Now I know the world has changed, but she's on to bigger and better things. I'm happy.